This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. It's the rubber game here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. The three-game series comes to a close. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And with Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. We hope everyone's having a fun and safe, enjoyable holiday weekend. Miles Michaelis will go today. He's been sensational.
He really has. Miles Michaelis hasn't only been one of the best pitchers for the Cardinals, he's been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and he's doing it with the entire arsenal. You see the breaking ball, spots up the fastball. His slider is filthy. He has been feeling it, and when the ball is put in play, weak contact from Miles Michaelis.
Michaelis is coming off a complete game shutout, first ever in the big leagues, and that was against the Kansas City Royals. Now, that's the pitching. How about the offense? Mike Matheny changes up the lineup, and it worked in game two.
Yeah, it did, and it was nice to see getting on the board early, and it happened yesterday. First batter of the game, Matt Carpenter. Nice and easy, over the fence, you get a lead. Carpenter's been struggling a little bit this year. I'm sure it helped him, and it definitely helped the Cardinals. You see the numbers they put up yesterday. 11 hits was big. The 4 runs doesn't seem like a lot, but it has been recently. Hopefully they can build off of that.
So, Miles Michaelis and Jamison Tyone here this afternoon. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. NL Central Showdown here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Memorial Day weekend. Baseball is coming up. Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Folks making their way across the Clemente Bridge here to downtown Pittsburgh and the North Shore, PNC Park. Glad that you're with us. Hope you're having a great Memorial Day weekend. Along with Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. The St. Louis Cardinals come in with a record of 27-22 after the win yesterday. Both the Cardinals and Pittsburgh 4 games back of Milwaukee. Take a look at the St. Louis lineup. Matt Carpenter, and then Jose Martinez and Tommy Pham. Marcell Ozuna, Tyler O'Neill, Colton Wong, Jairo Munoz, Carson Kelly, and the pitcher trying to stay perfect and go to 7-0. That's Miles Michaelis. Jameson Taillon will go for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Kind of been a down year for him. 2-4. ERA has been near 5, but we know when he's right, he's very good.
Yeah, he is very good, and the future is bright for Jameson Taillon. They look at him as a guy that can front their rotation for the foreseeable future, but there have been some ups and downs. You see the pitch arsenal there. He really likes his fastball. It's mid-90s. It's good. It's got some life on it, but he's got a very good breaking ball as well. So whatever the ERA looks like right now, if he's got that breaking ball on, it could be a tough day.
Once again, around Major League Baseball, the uniforms being worn to honor those that have served in our country. Memorial Day, a holiday in which we remember the people who died while serving in the country's armed forces. Tomorrow we'll be in Milwaukee, finish up the series here today in Pittsburgh. Elias Diaz is the catcher. Late scratch, Francisco Cervelli. We did not get word as to why he was taken out of the lineup, but Diaz is in for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the next to Matt Carpenter is taken for a ball as Diaz has twice held that ball for a long time. And we're just told it was flu-like symptoms for Francisco Cervelli, and that's why he was a late scratch. Same pitch as the first 2, and that one a strike. Todd Titchener calling the balls and strikes. For whatever reason, Taillon has been sensational in day games. 8-1. The Pirates have won 12 of his 14 starts in his career during the day. Turn to Brad Thompson's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, #1, stay aggressive. We saw the Cardinals yesterday. They were able to put up a run in the first inning. They kept piling on 11 hits, only drew 1 walk in the game. They were swinging the bats, staying aggressive, and win the series. I mean, I know that's simple. It's important, though. This is a division game against an opponent that's right there, tied with you for second, 4 games behind the Brewers. This is a big game today. The Cardinals need to stay aggressive and pile on.
Matt Carpenter, first batter of the game yesterday with a home run into right. The shift is on now with 2 strikes. He also had a second hit with a bunt. The 2-2. Gets a piece and fouls it back. For whatever reason, the numbers bear it out. Carpenter loves hitting in the leadoff spot.
He really does. And once again, we know that he can hit anywhere, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it at this point. And he's had the success there. He's also had success with 2 strikes. He also has success off the breaking ball if he throws another one here.
And Carpenter with a drive into deep right. It's at the wall, and it's off the top of the wall. Nearly back-to-back games with a home run to lead it off. High off the wall and right. And that's 21 feet high and a leadoff double for Carpenter.
Well, Taillon goes with the fastball in the inner half here, stays up a little bit, does get inside, but Carpenter's able to get the hands to it, barrel this thing, and you're right, just a couple of feet away from being a 1-0 lead, but great start to this ball game.
He's now 6 for 15 against Taillon, and here's Jose Martinez. Martinez has destroyed fastballs this year. Will he get one here from Taillon? He does. Moves a runner over. That's Carpenter from second to third. Called that a productive out. Love to see him drive him in, but at least moves him over. Jose Martinez came in with the 5th best average against fastballs. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Meadows, Marte, Polanco in the outfield. Moran, Mercer, Frazier, and Bell along the infield. And Francisco Cervelli not getting the start, so Diaz is behind the plate. Here's Tommy Pham. And the first pitch taken for a ball. Pham now has reached base in 11 straight games against the Pirates. Leads the Cardinals with 9 home runs. He's driven in 20 and walked 26 times. Inside again.
We saw Tommy Pham on Friday night break out of that little slump that he had going. Broken 0 for 17 with an opposite field home run. Then yesterday you see him pull a double down the line. He's getting more comfortable being able to spread the baseball around.
And the 2-0 pitch to the Cardinals center fielder Tommy Pham. That drops in for a strike. Pham has also scored 37 runs. And that's tops on the club and 3rd overall in the senior circuit.
2-0 right here. Jameson Taillon trying to be very careful with Tommy Pham. You know how aggressive he is. Curveball top of the zone right there to get back in it.
The 2-1 pitch fouled back. I would think it'd be important to jump out on top if you're the Cardinals. They have been dominated in the season series against the Pirates.
Oh, it would be huge, and you also know how good the Pirates bullpen has been, so if you can get a few off of the starter early, that really helps.
And a swing and a miss strikeout of Tommy Pham.
Well, you see Taillon, he showed him the breaking ball and then goes a little bit harder right there. 91, bottom of the zone, just a well-placed pitch with 2 strikes right there. Ozuna has been swinging the bat very well lately. Still waiting for the power, still waiting for the doubles, the home runs. But the singles have been here recently, and this would be a good time for another one, Dan.
PNC Park, the only ballpark he has not had a home run in, and one shy of 100 for his career. Mentioned he's swinging the bat well, 9 for his last 14. And in the last 4 games, he's had multi-hit games. He's got 15 overall, and that leads St. Louis. But as you talk about, the fact is, it's a lot of singles, not seeing the home runs. Maybe that changes. A ball and a strike on Ozuna.
Tell you what, if Jameson Taillon makes a mistake on the inner half, you could tell with that first swing from Ozuna. I mean, he's looking to pull something on the inner half, kind of stepping in the bucket a little bit. But if you make a mistake with a breaking ball or a fastball in up.
There's a high chopper. Can Ozuna beat it out? Racing to the bag and safe. 1-0 Cardinals. Infield hit for Ozuna with 2 outs here in the first, and it brings in Carpenter. Not pretty, but Ozuna and the Cardinals will take it.
Forget all the power talk. Speed kills. Effort kills, right? You got to run. This isn't how he wanted to barrel this thing up, but what he did was he ran hard out of the box. You know, you've got an opportunity right here. It's a tough play to make, and he runs hard. That's all you can ask right there, and the Cardinals have a 1-0 lead.
And now Tyler O'Neill. He's in right field today. Dexter Fowler is out after being hit by a pitch that got Fowler right on the knee as he was batting from the left side of the plate in game 2 of this series. Saw this past week O'Neill homer in 3 straight. So Fowler is on the bench today. Mike Matheny telling all of us he's day to day, and maybe we'd see him tomorrow in Milwaukee.
Yeah, likely unavailable today with that hit. That got him about as square as you could possibly get. And once again, you never want opportunities to come due to injury, but Tyler O'Neill getting one today.
And the 1-1. Big gap in left center. Good speed at first in Ozuna. What a rip that young man takes as the helmet pops off again. This hurt yesterday. If you missed it, Fowler off the knee. Trevor Williams was on the mound. Ouch.
I mean, there is nowhere to go right there. Side of the knee, no padding, no nothing. That hurt badly, had to be helped off. It's great to hear all the x-rays came back negative day to day. That's as good as you can get. You know O'Neill will expand here. Wouldn't be surprised if you see Tyone throw that breaking ball down.
The 2-2. That's what it was, and O'Neill hits it in the air to right field, and it drops in for a foul ball.
That's part of that cat and mouse game. You know as a hitter what your weaknesses are. The pitcher obviously knows. So how do you adjust? Do you lay off pitches under the zone? Are you able to foul them off like that so you get another chance? That's part of the growing process as a young hitter.
Two Canadian boys right here in Tyone and Tyler O'Neill squaring off. And the 2-2 pitch to O'Neill. Struck him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but Marcell Ozuna, 2-out infield hit to bring in Matt Carpenter, who started the game with a double. Half inning in the books, 1-0. Nothing short of sensational. He's had 9 starts, the complete game last time out, and he is 6-0. He was 1 out away from registering for a win in Minnesota, so very easily could be 7-0. Cardinals won that game. The 2.24 ERA. So give John Mozeliak and his team a lot of credit to bring in Miles Mikolas. All the reports, the video, the scouting, thinking about how it may play in Major League Baseball, it's all worked out.
Yeah, and all that stuff is great, putting in all the work behind the scenes, but then that guy has to go out there and get the job done, and that's exactly what Miles Mikolas has done so far. He's getting it done against everybody.
There's a look at the lineup for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Frazier at the top, and it's fouled back. I love the fact that when I watch Mikolas, you know, when right, lack of walks, and the ability to throw any pitch in any quadrant of the zone for a strike. Here's a 1-1. And it's popped up left side. Ozuna with the catch. The Hyundai pitch arsenal on Miles Michaelis. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, all very effective pitches.
As you said, he can throw them all for strikes. He uses his slider a little bit more to righties. He uses the curveball a little bit more to lefties. But even if he finds himself behind an account, which, by the way, he doesn't very often, he can use any of those to get right back into him and can bury each one of those pitches. I mean, that's a pretty darn good arsenal.
And there's a ball to Austin Meadows, who has burst onto the scene here for the Pirates. Hitting .433. He's popped 3 home runs, driven in 5. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
With Starling Marte coming off the DL the other day, the question was, how are they going to get Meadows in the game? Dickerson gets the day off today. With young players, you have to figure it out. You have to find reps, but there was no way they could send him out the way he was doing things.
I realize he had 7 consecutive no-hit innings to finish up against Kansas City. But I wish Major League Baseball would make a video of Miles Michaelis and say, this is the pace of play that we're talking about. Get the ball and go. We realize at times you need a breather, you need to step off. There might be a meeting, but he's entertaining.
Yeah, and it changes when runners are on base.
Sure.
There's gamesmanship there where you just take your time. But until then, get it and throw it. I was always under the impression, for me, I don't want you to have extra time to think. I want to get it and throw it.
Popped up and out of play. You're always one of the quickest workers around. And I'm sure that was probably taught to you at a young age. Get the ball, you know, be aggressive and keep the defense on their toes.
There's something to it. You pound the strike zone, and you have to execute. You have to be down in the zone, and Michaelis has a great arsenal. But you're right, that pace, it helps everybody. It helps everybody behind you just stay in it.
The 2-2 pitch. Little squibber and a tough play here for Carpenter. Off balance throw and not in time. No chance there in the infield hit for Austin Meadows. The Cardinals defensively, Ozuna, Pham, and O'Neill in the outfield. And then Carpenter, Munoz, Wong, and Martinez on the infield. Carson Kelly is behind the plate. Here's Starling Marte, returned to the active roster on Friday and hit a long home run. Check that game 2 yesterday in that long home run. His 7th of the year. Meadows is a threat to steal. Couple of stolen bases this year. Michaelis knows that. You know, a lot of fans are probably wondering about Yadier Molina, and Mike Matheny telling us that Yadi is starting to work out. Not sure about baseball activities, but doing everything he can to get back quickly.
I'm sure the hard part with Yadi Molina is going to be making sure he doesn't try to do too much. He always wants to be out there, always wants to play. I'm sure it's killing him just watching some of these games, but when he is ready to come back, they will love to have him. The staff will love to have him. The lineup will love to have him. But you got to be ready. Your body's got to be ready.
Watch out. That's the Cardinal dugout. And I'm not sure if that got Mike Schilt, who is the bench coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. Oh, goodness. Sure did. You will not find a guy more liked in baseball than Mike Schilt. That's why all the players have stopped. All the Cardinal players looking in. The bench.
It's just so good to see, at the very least, that he's alert.
Yeah.
He's talking with everybody. It's so dangerous. You forget how close you are, especially when you're watching on TV. You forget how fast the game can go. It's great to see Mike Schilt walking this down the tunnel here.
Oh, man. Wow. And now an 0-2 pitch to Marte instead of check on the runner. You know, most of the coaches and players, you will see them on a top step of a dugout, kind of hanging over the railing, and I'm sure that's what Mike was doing there. Now some of the Cardinal coaches get below that. And the fly ball that's hit out to left, and Marcell Ozuna. He'll make the catch. Meadows back to the bag at first.
It's a nice pitch right there by Miles Michaelis. And you see that little gap right there. Man, it's just scary. You're so close to the action. And like you said, I mean, that's top stepping it. That's what coaches do. You don't have time. No matter how good your reactions are, if one is hit like that off the bat of Marte, like there is just a, you hope it doesn't get you. And hopefully we get good word about Mike Schilt, because that's scary stuff right there.
In 2006, it was Juan Encarnacion that was hit at the on-deck circle, your former teammate. I know a lot of the guys with the reunion of the 06 team tried to reach out to him and see how he's doing, bring him back to St. Louis, and it's been tough to get a reach of him.
Yeah, I unfortunately haven't had a chance to connect with him in a long time since then, really. So it is scary, and you realize that it's kind of part of the game. Guys get hurt, but it doesn't make it any better by any means. And you're always aware. That's the thing. You're always ready. You're always looking at the game. You're always watching, trying to process things, but you just don't have time. You can't get out of the way of certain things.
So 0-2 here on Josh Bell, the switch hitter. He's reached in 13 of the 14 games in his career against the Cardinals. Bell was a second-round pick in 2011, signed for a record at that point $5 million for a player outside the first round, as he was committed to go to Texas. Minor league player of the year for the Pirates in 2016. And the 0-2. Graduated from Jesuit College Prep in Texas. That's the same high school as Jordan Spieth of the PGA. So Bell in Major League Baseball, and Spieth one of the top golfers in the world. And the 1-2 pitch to Josh Bell. Wow. Been strikes on both sides and have not been called.
If that missed, it wasn't by much. Very good spot right here. You see Michaelis just trying to get it there on the in, or having a perfect pitch. Exactly where he wanted it. Didn't get the call on that one.
And now the 2-2. Foul ball. Todd Titchener behind the plate. Alan Porter at first. Jeremy Rehak, I thought he was very good the other night. He's at second. Bill Miller, the crew chief, and he's at third. And a short lead at first by Austin Meadows. And Bell is tied up.
Gets the fastball in there. And just slams it off himself. Josh Bell likes to get extended. That's a great place to put the ball. You do worry about having one leak over the middle of the play because you know the damage he can do, but you can really tie him up in there.
The 2-2. Tried to go back in, and he struck out. They appeal with Bill Miller, and he rings him up. So the strikeout, the first of the afternoon for Michaelis. That goes on the leg, and you feel a little electricity go through
get
there.
a couple of pads going, just kind of creating that blood flow again and just trying to heal that area.
So here is Colton Wong. One hit out of play, now a full count.
Well, you got to think that Jameson Tyone's going to go right after him right here with the fastball again. Don't want to walk him, put him on base. Colton been struggling a little bit. Maybe he can jump on this one.
Two, and it's hit out of play again. So Wong a chance to play against the right-hander today. Playing time has been hit and miss. Lefty on the mound, you probably won't see him, but righty, certainly he could be an option for Mike Matheny.
Oh, for sure, and he plays great defense every time he gets out there.
Mike Matheny talked about that yesterday as Wong hits it to shortstop Jordy Mercer, but the fact is that he said for the first time maybe in his career we're seeing Colton not take the at-bats out to the field, and defensively, and we've been extremely pleased. We think he's one of the better defensive second basemen in the game.
Yeah, he's and I think you learn the more you play. He has been in his career very hard on himself, as most athletes are, right? But you have to realize that there's still a different way you can contribute. Even if the bat's not going well, defensively you can do it. Maybe defensively you have a couple of tough games. Well, your bat can always play. I mean, there's different ways, and he's done a great job of that. And I still believe the offense is coming for Colton Wong. We've seen it. We saw it last year. But you can still contribute somehow, some way, and he's still doing that.
Here's Jairo Munoz. Cardinals feel comfortable with the combination of, let's say, Jerko, Garcia, Munoz at short with DeYoung missing. And yesterday, talking about the pitching and the youth that's been served on this team. Don't forget about the position player, Jairo Munoz.
Yeah, pretty good day for the Young Bucks yesterday. Flaherty with the good outing. Hicks was nasty coming in, and Munoz taking advantage. He likes to get up there and swing. He doesn't take too many pitches. He's just trying to make something happen. We haven't seen him tested too much at shortstop so far, but he's a steady glove. And it's exciting for him, I'm sure, to get the opportunity. One that nobody expected coming into spring training that was going to be his.
2-1 pitch. And a high fly ball lifted out to right. Gregory Polanco with the catch. It's been just about over a year since Jameson Taillon was diagnosed with testicular cancer, and he was asked right around that year anniversary, is it something that's in the back of your mind? And he said, you know, one part of my brain says absolutely, move forward. And he said the other part is I don't want to forget, because I do want to be somebody that is outspoken about it, to get checked, to make sure you're okay, and to be an inspiration for those that deal with it.
Well, that was one of the biggest things with Jameson Taillon, was the fact that it was early detection, and it's great to be able to move past things. He's gotten past this, but you have to be a constant reminder, because there are people out there that could use some help.
Man, oh man.
Another line drive in the dugout.
Wow. Get word on Mike Schilt. We know we got a lot of his family that watches. If we hear anything about Mike, we'll pass it along, certainly. Willie McGee, smart move. He's ducked. And a strikeout of Carson Kelly, third today for Jameson Taillon. Midway through two, and there's no 1-0 score for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Inside PNC Park. And speaking of hot, today's pitcher, Miles Michaelis, could not have gotten off to a better start to his Cardinals career. 6 consecutive wins. And there was a great article during spring training in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch about one of his favorite places to eat, the Connection Subs. He said, if I play really well this season, maybe I'll get my picture on the wall in the sub shop. So after Monday's win, I said, you think maybe you've done enough to maybe get that picture on the wall? His eyes lit up. He said, you know, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. It's a long season. They put pictures on the wall of guys who are from there or lived in the area. Tiger Woods, Rick Ankiel's on the wall. So I'm guessing next spring training, we might see a Miles Michaelis picture.
Certainly is pitched well enough to have that picture up in the
So.
wall.
I mean, I know it sounds like a small thing, a little thing, but you get something named after you of one of your favorite places. It's a big thing.
Anything at Vegas after Brad Thompson?
Absolutely not.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Colin Moran.
I'm sure in the greater St. Louis area, you've got
No, he already-
something named
No,
after
no,
you,
no.
don't you?
Well, wait a minute. Apparently Jeremiah has something for you.
You stole my thunder, Dan. That's what I was going to ask. Is there any picture on any restaurant wall in Las Vegas with Brad Thompson? It has to be something.
Post office, maybe.
Here's a ground ball that's backhanded by Martinez. He'll step on the bag for the out. Jeremiah Johnson is an employee. For people that wonder, he works for Fox Sports Indiana on the Pacers broadcast, which is based out of St. Louis with Fox Sports Midwest. So we had a need. We went to our bullpen, so we got Jeremiah, and Jim Hayes is back in the studios of Fox Sports Midwest, and Scott Warman will join us in Milwaukee. Jeremiah's done a very nice job. Brings in Gregory Polanco, hitting .209, 8 home runs. He's driven in 22. Currently, he's hitless in his last 15 plate appearances. He's had 2 hits against the Cardinals so far this year, 2 for 21. One of those hits, this one off the bat of Polanco against Miles Michaelis. And the 1-1 here.
Well, when Polanco hits him, he can hit him far, and you saw that swing right there. You get off speed over the middle of the plate. He gets extended, and that's where a lot of his power comes from. You can still beat him away, and you can still definitely get inside on him.
Inside pitch right there. You don't realize how big Polanco is until you're down on the field. Watch him take BP. He's 6'5".
It's a big guy. He's well put together. Got all the tools that you'd want.
There's so much hype around him that sometimes it's unfair when you say a young player hasn't lived up to the expectations. Well, what are the expectations for this guy? To be 30-30? I mean, I think some fans were expecting that. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Miles Michaelis. Michaelis in all of Major League Baseball are key to drive to success, and the numbers have been impressive. You love first pitch strike percentage. We talk about it all the time. Being ahead in the count, that just sets everything else up.
It really does. He can utilize his off speed even better. And the 14 pitches, you talked about how fast he works. Well, he's not throwing a ton of pitches per inning. He's not trying to strike out the world. If he ends up getting to a 2-strike count, well, then he'll try to bury somebody. But he gets a ton of ground balls, uses his defense, and he's just crazy efficient.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Elias Diaz off the end of the bat, and Michaelis will take it himself. A race to the bag in a 1-2-3 inning. We played 2, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. and older, take home the bobblehead of Chris Carpenter. His memorable slide at first base during the 2011 World Series. Also Prairie Farms Ice Cream Sundae. And tickets at Cardinals.com/promotions. The Chris Carpenter bobblehead. There's Miles Michaelis and a strike. We will be in Milwaukee tomorrow. And it's a 1:10 first pitch, 12:30 pregame show. As Michaelis taps it to third, gloved by Colin Moran. Luke Weaver and Brent Suter tomorrow. No relation to the great Hall of Famer Bruce Suter. I know you have a chance to visit with Bruce an awful lot.
Bruce is one of my favorites. Watches every game. Was texting me earlier, making fun of my radio voice. It's just kind of my voice sometimes.
I love Bruce Suter.
He's the best.
He almost had number 17. Kubota Power Stats and the most leadoff home runs hit by a Cardinal. Lou Brock, Matt Carpenter, Ray Langford on that list. Carpenter hit one high off the wall in right for a double. And he sends this one into the gap in left center. Cut off by Meadows. Carpenter to second base in with his second double.
Watch out. Watch out. Matt Carpenter heating up. You see him drive the ball the other way there. Pulled one early. Pulled the home run yesterday. And just takes this pitch middle away. Exactly where it's pitched. It's a nice job. I told you yesterday he's not going to see his batting average again with a 1 in front of it. He is on the rise.
Yep, you made your bold prediction.
Well, it's not too bold when you've seen him hit the last couple of years. But yes, I'll take that.
It's the third time this year he's had two doubles in a game. Here's Jose Martinez. And it's popped up. Well, that's a good sight. Mike Schilt.
That is really, really good to see that. I mean, that caught him very square by the, I mean, it was so fast, it was hard to get a very good look at it. Not that you'd want to anyhow, but it's great to see him out there.
And a grounder that's pulled foul. Let's check in with Jeremiah.
Guys, as I was walking back through the dugout to come up to the press box, Mike was walking back into the dugout. Officially a head contusion, but he is cleared to return to the dugout. Absolutely great news.
It certainly is. Probably a little bruise. Maybe a headache to go along with that, too. Good to see him back in there. A strike to Pham.
You know, with Mike Schilt, they'd have to cart him out of here to not get back out there in that dugout.
Oh-2. And Pham puts it in play. It is a fair ball. Tommy hustling and out. Cardinals strand a runner. Good to see Mike Schilt back in the dugout. 1-0 midway through 3. Saturday alternate jersey. Embroidered front logo courtesy of Scott Credit Union. It's also photo day. That's all coming up. Is Saturday, June 2nd. This is Jordy Mercer, followed by Jamison Tyone and Adam Frazier. 2 balls and no strikes. And a fly ball lifted out to Tommy Pham. Makes the catch for the first out. Four runs or more, and the BJC difference maker. Cardinals pick up 4 runs or more, usually means a win with the great starting pitching they've gotten.
I mean, that really is amazing, the difference right there. And 4 runs, I mean, it doesn't seem like a ton. But you're right. The way that the starters have performed, the way that this back end of the bullpen, and it's been in flux a little bit here recently, but you know how good that can be as well. You score 4 runs, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
Trying to keep it fair, Kelly does and makes the play. Smart play. And 2 quick outs.
Great job here by Carson Kelly, just getting up and pouncing all over this one. You just jump on it. You know you have time with the pitcher running. Makes a very strong throw over there.
See the second baseman and the right fielder backing up. Like to see that.
Fundamentals. It's little things. You don't expect that to get away. You expect him to make a good, strong throw, but just in case he doesn't, you want to make sure you hold him to one bag. Little stuff like that's going to win you games throughout the year if you're doing things the right way. Talked about it with Colton Wong, how he can help defensively even when he goes through his struggles offensively. That's a way you can do it. Tyler O'Neill getting an opportunity out in right field, doing all those little things.
And a liner to Tommy Pham and a 1-2-3. Michaelis has settled in. 8 in a row. 1-0 our score.
No matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Memorial Day, a holiday in which we remember the people who died while serving in the country's armed forces. Long weekend. Hope you're enjoying it, staying safe. taking in some Cardinals baseball, maybe a boat ride, the sunshine, wherever you may be. Here's Marcell Ozuna. Infield hit, and it brought in Carpenter. Hits it softly to short. Mercer with the play. One pitch, one out. The batter is Tyler O'Neill. Well, how about Miles Michaelis, Brad Thompson? 8 in a row, and the only hit, an infield hit through 3 innings for the Pirates.
Yeah, he's looked really good. And it's not, I mean, it's typical Miles Michaelis. He's not racking up the Ks. He's just getting soft contact. Let his defense do the work. He's looked really, really good so far out there, and that's what we've come to expect out of him each time out.
And O'Neill sends a fly ball out to deep center, and the catch made by Marte. He's a good one out there.
He got a bad beat on this. I don't think he knew how hard it was hit off the bat of Tyler O'Neill. Tyler did a really good job on this. It's a breaking ball down in the zone. He struggled chasing the breaking balls, but this one stays up a little bit, and he drives it. But Marte has that closing speed and gets to it right on time. Well hit ball right there by Tyler O'Neill.
So 3 pitches and 2 outs. Here's Colton Wong. And he looks at a strike. City's enjoyed a real long history of baseball here in Pittsburgh. They've been the Alleghenies, the Burghers, the Pirates. Started playing in 1891. Negro Leagues had 2 teams here. Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords. The team that Josh Gibson played on. And right now, Jamison Tyone and Miles Michaelis, they've got a pitcher's duel, 1-0.
Entering the day, the last 6 game starters combined for a 1.94 earned run average, just 9 total earned runs. And that starting group will get a little bit of a boost later this week when Alex Reyes will join the team. He's set to join the team in Milwaukee probably tonight. Mike Matheny saying he will throw a side tomorrow and then once again makes his season debut on Wednesday afternoon. All the starters pitching well. How about Jack Flaherty telling me last night, I don't want to say we're trying to one-up the other guy, but you want to go out, put on a good performance. Then you see the next guy put on a good performance. You keep trying to build off each other. It is fun to watch indeed. Brad, can this competition be a good thing?
Oh, no doubt about it. I love stuff like that. And you're right, you're not trying to outdo your teammate, but at the same time, you're trying to outdo your teammate. I mean, it's fun to do that because it's friendly competition. And you know that there's going to be plenty of competition throughout the year for roster spots, for time. That's not what this is about. This is about getting better as a group and continuing to dominate. And this staff has done a great job.
Snaps a string of 8 in a row sent down by Michaelis, and Meadows has the only 2 hits for the Pirates. Infield hit and that little flare to left. Internal competition, not a bad thing. There's Starling Marte. Miles does a very nice job controlling the running game too. Fairly quick to the plate. You'll see the throw over. You'll see the hold. Varies up his times to the plate just like that. There's strike 1.
Yeah, executing the pitch. I mean, that's the thing that you want to focus on the most. But you do have to make sure you're able to hold the running game. You could throw it quick, get a nice 91-mile-an-hour pitch, bottom of the zone right there. You want to keep that runner uncomfortable over at first base.
And a throw to second, and spinning Wong. And that'll be a stolen base for Meadows, his 3rd. Looked to be a delayed steal. If not, a terrible jump. And that's a delayed steal. Kelly does the right thing to throw.
Yeah, came up firing. Pretty good throw. Just caught him on the wrong side of the bag. Colton just barely not able to get there.
Nothing in 2 the count on Marte. And he got him. A strikeout of Starling Marte, 3rd today for Michaelis. Our Chevy Fox Tracks.
Well, you see the slider right here. Miles Michaelis uses all of his pitches. He'll show the right-handers the curveball, but that slider is a great out pitch, and especially right there to Marte, you're able to expand off the plate. He hits off speed well for strikes.
There's Josh Bell, was caught looking, first time up. Meadows, your runner at second base. And ball 1. Clint Hurdle has talked about that he loves this young man. Thinks he's going to be an outstanding player before it's all said and done. It's among the finalists for the Rookie of the Year a season ago.
And he showed last year, he showed a little bit more of a power profile, had the 20-something home runs, and you know that that's still in there for him. But he's spreading the ball around a little bit more this year. He's covering the pitches outside a little bit more. Still has some weakness in, but if he's able to foul some of those off and get to some pitches he can hit, he can be very dangerous.
His power has been from this side of the plate. The folks here in Pittsburgh can't get enough of Clint Hurdle, hired in 2010 by the Pirates. Remember, he took the Rockies to the 2007 World Series. As Kelly wants to visit with Michaelis. Clint, as a player, was labeled the Phenom, and at the age of 20 on the cover of Sports Illustrated. As he played with the Royals, the Reds, the Mets, and the Cardinals. Always positive. He's got text chains going all over the country with his phone and sending out daily messages, emails to players, staff, front office, friends. Just little quips to keep things positive, keep things upbeat. I said, who was your inspiration? And he mentioned his daughter, Maddie. The 2-1 pitch. Maddie has Prader-Willi syndrome. And that's a disorder that leads to behavioral issues and the inability to feel full when eating. And 1 in 25,000 kids have that. His daughter has that and says it's been, you know, just watching that and watching what she's gone through has been an inspiration for him, and he's done a lot to battle that. A high fly ball into center, backing up Pham. Meadows will tag up. The catch is made. And a runner at third now with 2 outs. Colin Moran grounded out to first. He's 0 for 1. He's hit much better in this ballpark than on the road. 359 at home. 2 for 8 in this series. And a ball to Moran, who has 22 driven in. Third among National League rookies. The 1-0 pitch. This game is tied. A base hit by Moran into right center. Both runs have been scored with 2 outs in this game. And it's 1-1.
Michael is here, falls behind, which he rarely does. Missed with the breaking ball barely. Tries to come back in with the fastball up here to Moran. And this thing just stays up in the zone, probably above the strike zone, but an area right at the letters where he could handle it. Just got the barrel to it. We've got ourselves a tie game.
Here's Gregory Polanco. A strikeout of Polanco swinging back in the second.
Polanco right now, we've talked about all the tools that he has, but he does have so many holes currently in that swing. The fastball he got him with last time down and away also has a hole inside.
And he pulls it foul. Nice play made down the right field line. And a souvenir for that young Cardinal fan. Play, Matty.
That's not routine. All right, that was an in-between hop right there that she was able to pick. Then had the wherewithal to give it to one of the best fans here.
And a strikeout looking at Polanco. 2 in the inning for today. And a happy young fan. We're tied. It's 1-1. He is amazing. You start looking at his numbers historically in the game of baseball, and there's only maybe 2 other players putting up the type of numbers that he has to start a career. Let's hit down the right field line, and a foul ball off the bat of Munoz. You know, that was the thing when Albert Pujols went to the Angels, immediately overshadowed by Mike Trout. Mike Trout became a rookie that year and obviously had a tremendous season. And now you have Ohtani, who's taking some of the headlines across Major League Baseball too.
And I don't think Mike Trout cares one bit. He just goes out there, he plays baseball. I mean, this guy, he could be one of the most marketable superstars out there if he wanted to be, but he's just happy just playing this game and putting up ridiculous numbers. It's a fun player to watch.
Here's the 0-1. Now 0-2.
Saw a picture from a couple of weeks ago, just to the point that you made about guys taking away the stardom. There was a group of media, just tons, around Ohtani, and there was Mike Trout, the best player on earth currently, just sitting there by himself in the dugout. Nobody bother him, nobody cares.
No big deal.
Nope.
And Munoz, a swing and a miss. Your good eye is no good here. Take one for the team on your own time. If you're going to go down, at least go down swinging, since one hit is all you need. Download Beat the Streak today in the App Store or on MLB.com/BTS. Is Shohei Ohtani the best player in the world right now? Is it Mike Trout, or is it Ohtani because of what he does, you know, dual threat pitcher and hitter? Ground ball that's hit to Jordy Mercer.
If I've got to pick one here, I'm still going to pick Mike Trout, just because I've seen it for a long time and I know exactly what he's going to be. But watching Ohtani is a reason sometimes that I'm tired in the mornings. I stay up and watch West Coast baseball just to see something special. We haven't seen something like this, an opportunity like this on a day in, day out way to be able to impact the game on the mound, both swinging the bat. It's going to be very interesting to see if this lasts all year, what he's doing, what the MVP votes look like.
Well, Tyone and Michaelis have made quick work of the opposition. Look at that, 7.65 pitches by inning for Jameson Tyone. So he's gotten locked in, and we know that Michaelis is locked in for the Cardinals.
Tell you one thing we've seen out of Jameson Tyone a little bit more today is we came into the game, we talked about his fastball. He's got a really good curveball as well. We've seen a slider out of him today, right around 90 to 92, just tight break that's been really effective.
The strikeout of Michaelis, 2 in the inning, and 5 today for Jameson Tyone. Leaders in cancer. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Pick your power, fuel, or battery with Steel. Search STIHL. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Brad Thompson with us this weekend, world champion of the 06 squad of the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And there's ball 1 to Diaz. Bottom of 5, tied 1-1. That's it out of play.
Miles Michaelis came into this game today. We always hit on the throwing first pitch strikes, and he was better than anybody in all of baseball. Still is better than anybody in all of baseball today, though. Only 7 for 16 so far, but he still found a way to battle back into counts, to get back in there. So even when you're not sharp right off the bat, he can still execute.
Goes back to the point that we made earlier. He's able to execute any pitch inside the zone, and that would mean more times than not at any point in the count too.
You just don't know as a hitter what to sit on in a hitter's count.
The rare 3-1 count here. He's not walked a man. He has struck out 4, allowed a run and 3 hits. And that's ball 4. There have been times today on both sides. Strike zone has been really tight.
It really has, and that is something you don't see ever out of Miles Michaelis. I believe that's only his 7th walk of the year. He's been putting up ridiculous numbers, not giving out the free pass very often. Maybe there's a 2-ball to follow.
His walks per 9, 0.90 coming into the start today.
You're going to have a lot of success like that.
The ERA was 4th, tied for 2nd in wins. There's Jordy Mercer. Fly to center, first time up. Gets ground balls, gets double plays as well. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's 7 double plays on the year so far. I'd love to see that go up to 8 here.
He was so good last time out against Kansas City. First ever complete game shutout in Major League Baseball. And there's a base hit into left. And Taillon will come up with runners at first and second, nobody out.
See Mercer here just get a fastball in the inner half. It's a nice piece of hitting right here, and Taillon obviously a bunting situation, trying to get a job done, help himself out.
Let's talk about how the Cardinals want to play this. Colton Wong is close to the runner at second base. That's Diaz, not great speed. Taillon, if he gets a bunt down, with the Cardinals try to get that lead man. There's the bunt, and it's foul.
Yeah, it's going to have to be firm to get him. You want to make sure you end up getting an out in this situation. So if he bunts it hard right at somebody, you think about it. But your thought process has to be, we've got to get an out.
No balls and a strike. Outfield is very shallow. Taillon on the year, by the way, is 2 for 16 with a double.
Michaelis with that turn right there. You're just trying to see what the hitter's doing, if he's going to pull back or if he's going to stay there with his bunt.
Swinging, and it's popped up. There's Tyler O'Neill with the catch. Runners stay put. And out number 1. It's a big out.
It's a huge out. That couldn't have worked out too much better for the Cardinals here. Now you got to execute again. You've got the top of the order coming up here with Frazier.
Lefties hitting .276 against Michaelis at the start of play. And here's one of them, Adam Frazier. He's 0 for 2, fly to left and lined out to center. There's strike one.
That curveball has been really good to left-handers this year. He uses it to get ahead, and he can also bury you with it. See it here. You're up in a position right here. If you're Frazier, you're looking to drive something. You don't want to hit that first pitch.
And the 0-1. The Pirates with 4 hits today. One of those an infield hit, the other one a flare to left. But not a lot of hard hit balls against Miles Michaelis. Should tell you, he's tough to square up. He's
really
tough to drive the ball against.
Well, it goes back to the arsenal that he has, because you don't know exactly what to look for. And then for the most part, things are down in the zone and they're moving. We've seen him miss a few times here in this inning, up in the zone, a couple of breaking balls that have spun out of his hand. Hopefully a quick adjustment for him, get a ball down, get a ground ball right here.
Two and two. The 2-2 pitch to Adam Frazier, fouled back.
Tried to get that fastball in, ended up leaving it over the middle here, but didn't get hurt. Nice foul ball.
That's the other thing, when he gets that fastball, you see a lot of pitches fouled back, and not directly back, but up, which means they're not on it.
Yeah, he's done a good job with lefties too, making sure that stays in there. That one leaked out a little bit.
The 2-2 pulled foul. It's turned out to be a gorgeous day. Rain in the forecast for later this afternoon, early tonight. Very cloudy. Neither team took batting practice today on the field. But now it is gorgeous. The 2-2 pitch to Frazier. Well, if he's missing, it's not by much.
Yeah, these borderline pitches have not gone either side. That ball is up and out a little bit. But he's had a few that has looked like he's been squeezed on.
Cardinals would love the double play. The 3-2 is a pop-up left side. That'll find the seats. And there's plenty to find today.
Michaelis went with that 3-2 slider here, just up in the zone again. It was a huge pitch there. Another one right here.
And a grounder pulled foul. 9 pitches. This plate appearance for Frazier. Pitch count at 74 for Michaelis. He made the final out in the top half of this inning. The 3-2 again. And another souvenir.
Michael is doing a good job of just continuing to pump strikes. Got a couple of breaking balls there, a fastball that was fouled back, just trying to get some contact. And he's done a very good job, like we said, all year of just getting that weak contact, that nice ground ball. Could use one right here.
50 strikes, 25 balls, adds up to 75 pitches on the day. 3-2 pitch. Out to left center. Pham going back. He won't get there. 1 run is in. That's all the way to the wall. Frazier racing to third. The relay to the plate. Not in time. 2-run score, and it's a 3-1 Pittsburgh lead. Winds up being an outstanding at bat here for Adam Frazier.
Yeah, it was. And Frazier gets this slider down the middle of the plate, strikes it well. I don't think Tommy Pham knows exactly how hard this is hit off the bat. Breaks in a little bit and then back. Even if he breaks bat right off the bat, I feel like it's going to be a very difficult play. Just a great at bat right there by Frazier.
So the triple plates 2. Austin Meadows with the infield drawn in, and the Pirates have their first lead. Rare walk by Michaelis comes around to score, as well as the base hit by Mercer, the 8th place hitter. And a fly ball lifted to Ozuna. Frazier, good speed. He'll tag up. Throw by Ozuna. Offline. Run scores. 4-1.
Just a good at bat right there by Meadows. You're hoping as a pitcher, the Cardinals are trying to keep this ball in the infield. You're hoping for a strikeout. You know, anything to the outfield. You got a possibility of that happening right there. Going to need that Cardinal offense to come alive yet again.
Starling Marte. Think about the second inning. It took 12 pitches to get 3 outs. 8 pitches in the third, and then Frazier, he himself saw 11 in that at bat. That resulted in a triple that drove in 2. 4 runs allowed. That ties Michaelis's season high. He'd allowed a total of 3 runs in his last 4 starts.
I'll tell you what, Miles Michaelis has done a very good job all year of kind of bailing out a slow offense so far. Maybe the offense could do the same thing for him today. Kind of pick him up here after a rocky inning.
And a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on. The fly ball into right. O'Neill a few steps back and makes the catch. So the Pirates pick up 3 and they pick up a lead. It's 4-1 after 5. people who died while serving in the country's armed forces. Along with Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. 4-1 our score. The top of the lineup. You get the feeling this could be an important inning for Tyone and the Cardinals.
Yeah, you feel like if the Cardinals are going to get it going offensively, this would be the place to do it. Yesterday, the top 4 in the order ended up going 8 for 17. We saw some good things, seen some great things already out of Matt Carpenter, a pair of doubles so far in this ball game. You'd like to get a little momentum going again today.
We talked about the bullpen of Pittsburgh. 6th inning later with the lead. They have yet to lose a game. Have not seen their outstanding closer Vasquez in this series, so even if it's a situation where it's a non-save situation, you may see him in this game. As Carpenter swings and misses. Fooled on that pitch. 2-2.
There's that slider right there, just 90-mile-an-hour, drops off the table, comes out of his hand looking like a fastball. That's been really effective for Jameson Tyone today, who likes to go to that curveball a lot, but that's been a good off-speed pitch.
The 2-2. Outside, low, full count. Martinez on deck, and then Tommy Pham. In Milwaukee tomorrow, Weaver and Suter. Game 2 will have Waka and Davies. Reyes and Guerra will go in game 3. And that's well hit down the right field line. Foul. Want to buy or sell tickets up to the last minute of the first pitch? StubHub, official partner of the Cardinals. So Carpenter lined that down the right field line, trying to pick up yet another extra base hit. On base for the 3rd time today. So Tyone is first walk of the afternoon, and it brings in Martinez, who is 0 for 2.
Well, that is a good start to the inning right there. Get him on. Martinez 0 for 2, as you said, today, but 3 knocks yesterday. He's been getting it going. Tommy Pham, you know the power that he has behind him. A walk, a bloop, and a blast.
Martinez grounded to second, popped out to first. Cardinals' lone run was an infield hit by Marcell Ozuna with 2 outs in the first inning to bring in Carpenter. And the 0-1 pitch to Jose Martinez. Bounce to the right side. Frazier only play to first. Carpenter to second with 1 down.
We've seen a couple of those from Martinez today where it just looks like he's trying to go that way with it instead of pulling that ball in the air. We've seen a lot this year with all the success that he's had too. He's had a lot of success to the right side, especially in the air. Has pulled more on the ground to the left side, but a ground ball to the right side there.
Tommy Pham is struck out. That was swinging back in the first and also grounded out to third. Strike 1. Trying to make it 12 straight games and reaching base against the Pirates. A big gap in left center here for Tommy Pham. It's sharply to third off the glove of Moran. I'm sure that'll be ruled a base hit for Pham. We'll see.
That's got to be a base hit. He hung that breaking ball right there. Tommy Pham just jumps all over that thing. Moran's probably checking his leather over there. Tough pick. Yeah, this ball hit pretty darn hard.
With that, the tying run comes to the plate at Marcell Ozuna. 1 for 2. It has been a while since we've seen Ozuna go deep, and that, right now would probably be just about the right time.
We've seen the couple swings today of him just kind of stepping towards the first base dugout a little bit. He's opened up his hips a little bit. I don't know if that's because he's been getting busted in a lot and wants to cheat on that.
Ray Searage, the pitching coach. By the way, that was ruled in error.
It's ridiculous.
Just the official score had a bad night.
Jameson Tynan, you got to wonder, he finds himself in a jam, so you want to talk through that. He's also dealt with some blister issues here recently. You wonder if that has popped up a bit. Doesn't seem like that's part of the conversation.
There are various ways that Jameson Taillon has talked about trying to deal with that finger issue.
Heard there was a sign-up list, actually, of anybody that could help him out with it. When you have an issue and you can't find the answer, well, you'll look anywhere or try anything.
Apparently he's done that. So Ozuna representing the tying run. Time is called. Runner at first. And Tommy Pham. Carpenter, your runner at third.
Well, if you're facing Ozuna right now, you've seen the couple swings he's taken. You're thinking probably off speed away would be a way to get him out. Hopefully he's able to stay on one and just drive it. We saw him drive the ball last night. One of his knocks, his last one, was the other way. Barreled it pretty well to right field. Ties him up with the sinker right there off the plate in. Like we said, with his swing where he was stepping out before, maybe that's the reason why you're trying to open up so this doesn't happen. But this thing is in off the plate a ton. But you've seen Marcell Ozuna. You saw it last year. I mean, he can keep that ball fair when he's right.
Here's the 0-1. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ozuna hits it softly to short. Double play.
He'll get a chance to hit in the top of the 6th. He was on deck. 4-1 Pittsburgh leads. Now Tyler's a little bit of a marked man after those 3 straight games with home runs last week, and I talked with him. He said the pitchers are starting to throw him now out of the strike zone, and it's on him to lay off of those pitches. He has to stay composed and look for his pitch that he can drive. He talks so much about getting good barrel on the ball. Mike Matheny adding, pitchers want to throw him out of the strike zone. We have to remind him a walk is okay as well. It's all part of the progression of a new hitter into the big leagues. Brad, you know when those guys come up, there starts to become a book on them.
Oh, no doubt about it. And look, he is a guy, he can learn from that. If he is laying off a couple of those, all of a sudden, they're going to have to come to him in a hitter's count. And that's where he'll get his fastball up in the zone, or maybe the breaking ball they try to flick in. He did a great job of barreling a breaking ball his last time up out to center, but Marte made a great play on him. Tyler O'Neill's got some tools, and that power is one of them. And sure, you're going to strike out. I mean, that's a part of his game, but it's all about limiting him and knowing how somebody's going to attack you. And I think he's doing a better and better job as we go on.
Well, this day and age of baseball, too, if you hit for power, not to say that strikeouts are accepted and that you want them, but they come with the territory.
Well, if you have a payoff. If you hit a home run every once in a while when you're swinging it, and we've seen Tyler O'Neill now for a while, he does not get cheated. Very rarely do you see that little check swing or him just kind of, sticking his bat out and flailing at something. No, he's looking to do damage every time up there.
Josh Bell at the plate. You struck out, called out on strikes back in the first, and fly to center.
After a long 5th inning, it would be nice for Miles Michaelis to have that quick 6th to get that groove back. He's already at 87 pitches right now. You would think that maybe this might be his last one. Well, who knows? If he has a really fast one, might get an opportunity to go further.
5 spots away from his spot in the Cardinal lineup. 4-1 our score, and the 1-2 pitch now to Josh Bell. It's always interesting when you play a team a lot in a short period of time, which these two teams will do. Pittsburgh will be in town in St. Louis next weekend. The adjustments in the game that Miles Michaelis has to make in his next start.
Yeah, for sure. You need to remember how you attack somebody, and that doesn't mean you go away from your strengths. If you, a guy like Bell, for instance, if you're finding success pounding him in, well, you don't need to change anything until he shows you need to change it. But there is that cat and mouse. You want to see if you can catch him off guard every once in a while. Maybe you throw the changeup in, or maybe you throw something else in there just to provide a wrinkle.
The 2-2 pitch to Josh Bell. Outside corner and struck him out.
This is 95 on the outer half right there. Really good pitch, and you've seen Miles Michaelis get squeezed a few times. This one right here, Todd Tichenor gives it to him. Needed that. 95, impressive. And appeared to be just outside the zone. Bell had a little problem with it.
Did you ever walk around this ballpark when you were a player or now as a broadcaster?
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. We've shown the backdrop is beautiful. It's a great place. I used to do a lot. I used to do a fun run around different ballparks, so that'd be part of the cardio, just kind of run the concourse and do a bunch of stuff. And that was one where, this is one here where just really enjoyed it. A good atmosphere.
Loved by Munoz, and Moran retired. Christian Day is coming up at the ballpark, presented by Thrivent Financial. Guest speaker will be Willie McGee. Cardinals.com/Christian Day. PNC opened up back in 2001. Built adjacent to Three Rivers Stadium. Prior to Three Rivers, there was Forbes Field that was around from 1909 until 1970. Three Rivers from 1970 to 2001. That's it out of play. It seats just under 39,000 as we sit on the north shore of the Allegheny. It was built very quickly. In about 24 months, this went up. And there was talk that there would not be baseball in Pittsburgh late 1990s, early 2000s. Needed a new ballpark, and they got it. And it's a jewel.
They did a really good job with it, that's for sure.
Notice every year when we come, and we were talking about this on the way over, every year it seems like there's more activity downtown, bars and restaurants. 1-2 pitch, taken low. Polanco is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. I get asked by fans all the time, your favorite ballpark, and this would be in my top 5.
Oh, mine too.
That's pulled foul.
Now, outside of Busch Stadium, which I know is your number 1, just talking about traveling, going on the road, where is your number 1?
San Francisco.
I hate it.
Well, when you were playing, you guys were right there with the fans. I'm sure they were less than kind.
Well, I just didn't enjoy it because there was no bullpen. Like, that's your thing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. How do you build a ballpark? You forget a bullpen. You forget that. Don't you have anybody with baseball eyes, like, look at something and be like, oh, yeah, no, guess what you forgot? A bullpen. San Diego did it, too, and they built theirs. They messed it up. Now, they fixed it now.
It's popped up. Kelly throws the mask and makes the catch. And a 1-2-3 for Miles Michaelis. $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Tyler O'Neill, Colton Wong, and Jairo Munoz. So Tyone pitching into this 7th inning. Sean Rodriguez takes over at second base. Very versatile player. I would throw Wrigley into one of my favorites too. The atmosphere has a lot to do with that. Cardinals and Cubs. Fenway's always a fun place to be.
I really enjoy, which is a weird thing to say for a former pitcher, but I really enjoyed Coors.
Really?
Yeah, for something about the atmosphere of the field, just to enjoy. The bullpen was very like scenic. You have the waterfall and trees out there. It's just kind of a cool place. Plus that the downtown Denver area is a fun spot.
I have never heard a pitcher say I enjoyed Coors Field.
Look, I have very few places where I can look at and say, oh, I had success there. For some reason, Colorado was one of them.
Good sinker.
Well, which generally doesn't play quite as well there.
Yeah. Certainly a curveball.
Hard to get that down. That's one place you better just focus on your warm-up pitches. As soon as you come in, you might as well try to spike them.
The swing and a miss. Strikeout of O'Neill.
There's that slider under the zone that we were talking about right there. He did a good job early in that bat of laying off one of them. This one here, the hard breaking ball, starts middle. That's tough to lay off. It's going to happen.
Here's Colton Wong, who is 0 for 2. Grounded out to short, grounded to third. And it's off the glove, or maybe Tyone, and Colton Wong is aboard with a base hit. He's 1 for 3. That took an odd right turn, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. You hate it as a pitcher. Sometimes you just need to get out of your own way. A little chopper here that just short hopped him. He palmed it. Rodriguez tries a little backhand flip, not happening.
On the bench today for the Cardinals, Greg Garcia, lone lefty batter. Bader, Jerko, Pena. From the right side, here's Jairo Munoz. Cardinals have a right-hander getting loose in their bullpen. I believe that is Mike Myers. John Brebbia also throwing in the pen. The Cardinals and the Pirates 4 games back in Milwaukee. Chicago 4.5 out. Cincinnati 14 back. Milwaukee is 13 games above the 500 mark. Munoz was 2 for 3. Run, walk yesterday. This afternoon he's flied to right and struck out. Yeah, the Cardinals have played nearly half their games in the day. They have played a ton of day games this year.
I know it sounds kind of silly. They wear on you, though.
Yes, they do.
It's just different. You're so used to playing at night, and you play so many in the day. It takes a little bit out of you.
This being game number 50, and that's why I brought it up. It's another day game tomorrow, and then the night game on Tuesday, day game on Wednesday. Budweiser, what's on tap? Luke Weaver, Brent Suter. The 2-1 pitch to Munoz. 2-2. Mets and Brewers are tied at 4 today. Milwaukee has won 8 of their last 10. Jesus Aguilar with a 3-run homer for the Brewers. Outfield is straight away. The 2-2 pitch. Well, Tyone, his pitch count only at 84, but activity in their pen.
Yeah, he's done such a good job today. Yesterday, the Cardinals with 11 hits, and 8 of those coming from the top 4 in the order. Today, he's just held them to 4. The ball's not scored. You see the last one by Colton Wong just kind of kicked off his glove. He's done a great job mixing it up.
And there's a base hit out to left field. So again, the Cardinals will have the tying run at the plate. Inning started with a strikeout of O'Neill. Infield hit from Wong. Munoz, the base hit to left. And Clint Hurdle will go to his pen with Carson Kelly coming up. Edgar Santana coming on. And out of the bullpen for the Pirates, Tyone is done. Kelly coming up. legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. Carson Kelly against Edgar Santana. Kelly representing the tying run. He picked up his first major league hit in this ballpark, a double into left center. And that pitch in the dirt. Runners advance aggressively. Boy, you like to see that. Wong was very quick in his decision to take to third.
You got to be ready for that. We talked yesterday about being breaking ball ready out of the pen, and Santana's got a good one. He tries to throw one here and end up just spiking this thing. Great aggressive jump right there. If he doesn't get that, Colton Wong's in some trouble. That changes this inning.
Well, you take away the potential of a double play on the ground. That's big. Base hit could make it a one-run Pittsburgh lead. Jerko at the on-deck circle. And Kelly pops it up. Shallow left. This will be Marte with the catch. And it brings in Jed Jerko, our Chevy called to the pen. Edgar Santana.
Santana hasn't been scored upon in his last 12 outings. He's been throwing the ball well. We got a chance to see him yesterday in a scoreless appearance. Sometimes you get to that point with the bullpen. The Cardinals aren't quite there yet. Clint Hurdle is, where you feel confident bringing in anybody.
Jerko as a pinch hitter, 0 for 5. The Cardinals looking for their first pinch hit home run of the year. The first pitch to him. It's a strike. That first pitch so important with Jerko, because if you get into a count where you fall behind, it's a fastball count, and that's where he likes to do some damage against a fastball.
Tell you what, he can also do some damage on if he leaves another breaking ball up in the zone like that catches more of the middle of the plate. He can hurt that as well.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jed Jerko. And Jerko lifts it in the air. Left field, this ball is down. And 2 runs will score. Jerko off the bench, his first pinch hit of the year to make it a 4-3 Pittsburgh lead.
You know, Jed's got his friends. He's got his family here nearby, West Virginia. Wasn't in the lineup today, but figured out a way to get something done. Gets this pitch up and in, a fastball that he's able to get to, get it down the line, gets down just in time.
Interesting here that you have Carpenter facing a right-hander in Santana. Now, if Clint Hurdle went to the lefty, would Mike Matheny stay with Carpenter in this spot against the lefty? We won't know.
Yeah, it's tough to manage for him. His numbers against lefties have been very bad so far this year. I will say this for Santana, the right-hander, he's been great against lefties.
So 2 outs, runner at first. That's the tying run. And a strike on Carpenter. Pitch at 95 was sinking, tailing away.
You can see that being effective against anybody, but we've also seen the slider out of him that he'll start middle that ends up back foot on a left-handed hitter. It's tough to lay off of it. It's very tough to center up.
The shift on here for Carpenter, and an 0-1 pitch to the Cardinal third baseman. Did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt with a pair of doubles, a run scored, and a walk today. Two and one.
know that Carpenter can do a lot of damage on off speed. He's actually hitting better off speed this year, so you don't want to throw him that nice and easy get me over. You can see Santana staying with the hard stuff here. Maybe a nice little ground ball up the middle left side. It's another base knock.
The 2-1 pitch. Jose Martinez at the on-deck circle. A count of 2 balls, 2 strikes on Matt Carpenter. Here recently, one of the hottest hitters in this lineup and in baseball. With 2 strikes, third baseman Colin Moran moving towards the bag at second. Three and 2. Ball in the gap. You never know. Especially out towards the bullpen. That's the deepest part of the park. 410 out there. That would score Jerko, who would be off with his pitch. Big pitch in the game right here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jerko, runner at first. There he goes. And Carpenter lifts a fly ball into shallow right. Catch made by Sean Rodriguez. Jed Jerko, his first hit as a pinch hitter this year. That drives in a couple. A tight ball game now. Time to stretch. It's 4-3. Through the turnstiles at Busch Stadium. To find out more, just head to cardinals.com/promotions. Get your tickets for June 1st. Sam Tuivailala has seen more of the high leverage situations here recently. And he'll come into the ball game in relief of Miles Michaelis, and this is our Chevy call to the pen.
Well, Tui has absolutely earned this. He's been throwing the ball really well as of late. And when we were talking to Mike Matheny the other day, said, hey, this bullpen, you would love everything to be just put in place where you know what 7, 8, 9 is, but those positions are still being earned currently. And he mentioned Tuivailala being one of those guys that has earned these higher leverage spots, and you find yourself in a really close ball game right here. Looking forward to watching Tui go to work.
Cardinals have scored 8 runs in this series. 6 of the 8 have come with 2 outs. And that was Jerko moments ago with his single off the bench to drive in 2 to make this a 1-run ball game. Elias Diaz leads it off. And the first pitch by Tui Valala, taken for his strike. Underway here in the home half of the 7th. Here's the 0-1. And a ground ball to Munoz. First out here in the home half of the 7th. Jordy Mercer 1 for 2. A single to left and a run scored.
Tui's going to have a lot of success if he's able to keep that right there. He's seen the fastballs away, just at the knees on the corner. His breaking ball has evolved quite a bit the last couple of years.
He's going with the cutter and then the traditional curveball.
Saw a cutter on that first out, I believe. And you see 97 right there at the knees. You know he's got that closer makeup, has done that in Memphis, rode the shuttle a bit last year back and forth. That off speed right there. But he's ready. I think he's ready for that bigger role. He'll grow into it. And you know that's exactly what Mike Matheny wants. He wants people to come grab these jobs, to take the late innings. It's nice to have something penciled in before the season, but you still got to go out and earn them.
Fouled back. And a swing and a miss, so strikeout for Tui Valala. And there's 2 outs here in the home half of the 7th. Plaza Tire Fox Tracks.
Well, Tui threw him the fastballs away, threw him the cutters in this at bat, and finishes them off with an 80-mile-an-hour curveball just down under the zone. Sold it really well. That pitch has really just gotten so much better for Tui the last couple of years.
Corey Dickerson will be the batter. Quick visit here with Mike Maddox, scouting report. I'm assuming that's what that visit is all about.
Sure, you just want to make sure you're going over everything. You know, you're coming into the bullpen and you're ready to handle the guys that are on the list. But when somebody else pops in there, you just want to make sure you're attacking the right way. And especially when you have Carson Kelly back there that's not as familiar with all of these guys as a Yachty would be. It's a smart move.
So 2 outs and nobody on for Dickerson, one of the big acquisitions by the Pirates this past offseason. Good player. Lifted in the air to Tommy Pham. Tui Valala, a 1-2-3. 8th inning role of the Pittsburgh Pirates is they had a roster move right before our series, and it elevated Feliz into this role.
Yeah, he had earned it, and George Contos was the guy initially at the beginning of the season that was slotted in that way. When he got traded over last year, he was the 8th inning guy and did a very good job. But he had struggled. Feliz took over, and they needed that roster spot when Joe Musgrove came back. That's where Contos was DFA'd. And Feliz has thrown the ball really well. We did see him on Friday. Tommy Pham had the opposite field home run off of him. But outside of that, he's throwing the ball great.
Jose Martinez, so he has 2, 3, and 4. And the first pitch is fouled back. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Michael Feliz, fastball slider.
Well, and you see it there. It's more of a story when somebody comes out of the bullpen now that doesn't throw 95, but he is. He's 95 to 98, and that slider is really good. And he pounds the strike zone. He just goes right after people.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fought off. Rodriguez can't get there. And a base hit into center, and the tying run is aboard. The go-ahead run comes to the plate. Great effort there by Sean Rodriguez.
Yeah, he almost got that thing. That was a really athletic play, but Martinez does a good job of just kind of getting the hands in there a little bit. He gets jammed on this, but finds a good part of the ballpark right there.
Remember on Friday night, Tommy Pham with a long home run against this right-hander as we flash back. Cardinals were trailing by a wide margin, but Pham launched that into the seats in right center. Can he do it again? And the first pitch is strike.
It was nice to see not only the home run, but where he hit it. So staying on that ball, opposite field, driving in that way, and watching him in BP that day, he was working on that. He was trying to get the ball that way. We've seen Tommy Pham pull the ball, but it was nice to see him drive it that way as well.
And it's a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Wouldn't think that Martinez would be going anywhere. He has 1 stolen base on the year, and Tommy Pham could put you on top with 1 swing. Big gap in left center. The 1-1 pitch. Marcelo Ozuna at the on-deck circle. The Cardinals win this game. More than likely it happens in this inning. Felipe Vasquez, a dominant closer, waiting in their bullpen. And you got to wonder if it becomes that a situation where you've got to get more than just the 3 outs. If Clint Hurdle would go with a 4 or a 5 out save in this particular game, potentially.
His bullpen has been so good that he's got various options. I think it all depends on what Feliz is looking like. But I don't think he'd hesitate.
Inside, and that's ball 4. Now the tying run in scoring position. A base hit and a walk. We've been waiting for really that signature moment for Marcelo Ozuna coming to St. Louis. He came up back in the 6th inning with runners at first and third, only 1 out, and grounded into an inning-ending double play. He's grounded to short, has an infield hit, and a run driven in. Ray Searage out to visit.
We just want to talk it through with Feliz. Like we said, he's been so good here recently outside of that home run that Tommy Pham hit. And you want to talk about Ozuna because even though he hasn't been dangerous as far as power goes, he's been hitting for average a heck of a lot better, over 600 in the last week. But you want to make sure that you're executing pitches. We've seen him get out today. That 6-4-3 you were talking about, that was a breaking ball on the outer half that he pulled off of. Seen a few of that. Chances are you're going to attack him same way we've seen. You're going to see the fastball in and in off the plate, and you're going to see the slider away.
But right now, you got to feel that he's just fighting it, maybe trying to hit that 5-run homer, which of course you can't. But the idea is you're looking to do damage every time. Just be the guy that you were. That's more than enough.
Yes, it is.
Ooh, blocked in the dirt very nicely by Diaz, and Martinez stayed put at second base. It's maybe 50-50 to go on that play, but you better be sure.
Yeah, that's a very good stop right there. And it is tough. You want to make sure you're getting a good read, you're getting a good jump.
The next to Ozuna. Oh, fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is one he'd love to have back.
It's 97, top of the strike zone here. And Ozuna's hit the high fastball really well this year. He's got a couple of holes, but that hasn't been one of them.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Marcell Ozuna. Lined foul and out of play. 1-2. Tyler O'Neill at the on-deck circle. You've got to at least get that runner from second to third and a chance to tie it up.
Well, you've seen Feliz go upstairs twice, get a couple of foul balls. Wouldn't be surprised to see a slider away here. Stays hard.
Here's a 2-2. And the count runs full. All right, Brad, what do you think?
Well, I don't think Feliz at this point has good enough feel for his off speed to throw it here 3-2. I think you're going to see a fastball. Just looking at this inning, looking at this at bat, it's got a chance to be up in the zone and should be able to do some damage on it.
The 3-2 pitch to Ozuna. And he walked him.
Well, what do I know?
The bases are loaded.
Good job of laying off that pitch. We've seen Marcell Ozuna here recently just kind of stick the bat out on that one. He lays off it, saw the breaking ball right out of the hand, knew it wasn't going to be a strike. Bases juice, nobody out. You got the young man Tyler O'Neill up.
Felipe Vasquez last pitched Wednesday, back-to-back blown saves. And now the young man Tyler O'Neill. A chance to do some damage. A base hit could put the Cardinals on top. They led at one point 1-0. They trailed 4-1. Now 4-3. Bases loaded. Nobody out here in the top half of the 8th. O'Neill is swing and a miss. 96 on the gun.
Big cut right there. Like it. Be aggressive in that spot. You know, after walking a couple of guys, he's going to want to get ahead, want to throw a strike. He does. Middle of the zone, fastball. And Tyler O'Neill not getting cheated on that one.
O'Neill 0 for 1 with the bases loaded this year. And the 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. Inning started with a base hit to center, then back-to-back walks.
Watch out for Feliz trying to bury a breaking ball right here, spiking it off the front of the plate. Maybe something kicks off.
And the 0-2.
He's scared of it.
I would think because of that, you mentioned in the previous at bat, he stayed away for the most part with that pitch to Ozuna. If you're Martinez, you can get down the line. You know, he spiked a couple. He's been erratic with that pitch.
When you've got O'Neill that will chase it at times.
Struck him out. 96 on the gun. Big strikeout.
Well, just goes with 96, inner half up, and ties up Tyler O'Neill right there. I mean, not much you can do about that one. You got to be able to protect off speed. You know that Tyler O'Neill can hit a fastball, but that thing was just elevated in a good spot.
Colton Wong is coming up. And that'll be it for Feliz. And Vasquez will come in to face Colton Wong. The bases will be loaded. 4-3 Pirates. Not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Felipe Vasquez, the Chevy called to the pen, struggled his last two appearances. Lefties against him, hitting .111. So the Cardinals pull back Colton Wong. It'll be Harrison Bader as the pinch hitter with the bases loaded. Bader a chance to tie it, put the Cardinals on top. Oof. A good cut for strike one.
Well, you can see why Vasquez is so tough on lefties. He's got that three-quarter delivery, slings it. By the way, it's 99. I mean, I guess that's tough on everybody, but like going to Harrison Bader here, we talked about this yesterday with him. He prepares every day like he's going to start, and he gets himself ready. I feel like he'll be ready for this at-bat right here.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Vasquez trying to go in right here. Looked like a good pitch just off the plate, though. Good take by Harrison Bader.
Bader has faced him one time, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And the 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike.
Change up right there off the plate.
The corners are in for the Pirates. Be very tough to turn to with the speed of Bader. Have to be a hard hit ball. What a chance here. Bases loaded, 2 balls, 1 strike. Bader with a little flare into shallow right. This is going to drop. 1 run is in. And the game is tied. Bader off the bench. It's 4-4.
Harrison Bader just fighting it off right there, making something happen. You see him get tied in inside a little bit, jams him, but gets it right over the second baseman head. Drops in the perfect spot. Runners can't keep going. You don't know if that thing's going to drop. You get one there, though, and here we are. Brand new ball game, 4-4.
Now Munoz. Yeah, Tommy Pham, he's now your runner at third base. Read that pretty well. He was basically at the bag at third, waiting for Martinez to go. So the base is loaded, 1 out, 4-4 our score. First pitch to Munoz, up and in for ball 1. Here it is at second base. Tommy Pham. Yeah, he read that very well.
Yes, he did.
Inside, 2 balls, no strikes.
Still going to be, even if he's running there, and he did read it perfectly. That thing was so shallow, though. Polanco with the arm that he has. Be very close.
Well, really a good opportunity here. He's got to come at him. 2 balls, no strikes. Three and 0. They could take 1, maybe 2 in this spot.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the green light yesterday. You don't have it here. Just go ahead and make him prove that he can throw a strike to you.
Munoz has been up with the bases loaded 1 time, and he walked. Three balls, no strikes. He walked him, and the Cardinals have the lead 5-4 here in the top of the 8th. 3 walks in the inning.
Showed the numbers as Vasquez came into the game. He'd been so good all year long. Last two, he had struggled. Just trying to throw a fastball for a strike here. Gets under this thing and not even close.
There's Carson Kelly, 4 straight pitches and the walk. It's always interesting in this spot. Dominant pitcher, you may get 1 pitch to hit, but he's just thrown 4 straight. Do you think about swinging the bat, or do you take a strike? Kelly swinging. That's why.
You just never know. He's going to try to lay one in there. Carson Kelly trying to make something happen. Been talking about signature moments. Carson Kelly could use one too. Been very good behind the plate today. Every time they give him an opportunity, he's been good. We'd like to see him get that big knock.
1 ball, 1 strike. See Vasquez a couple of times staring back at the home plate umpire, Todd Titchener, not happy with the strike zone.
It's hard to beg when you've been all over the place, though.
The 1-1. Kelly puts it in play. Softly to short. Out there. Run scores. And it's a 2-run St. Louis lead to make it 6-4. Hit it slowly enough.
Sometimes missing a barrel's not a great thing. This ball tailing away from Carson Kelly. He's running hard right out of the box, and just no chance to double him up right there.
So Greg Garcia will pinch hit for Sam Tuivailala, who had a 1-2-3 inning in relief. Miles Michaelis is off the hook. He will stay perfect this year. And now Greg Garcia, runners at first and third. Inside.
Michaelis has been so good all year long, and he's kind of picked up for the offense. It was great to see the offense do the same for him.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Garcia. It's a tough chore to come in and face this lefty. Again, it's worth repeating. Lefty's hitting .111 against Felipe Vasquez.
When we were talking to Mike Matheny earlier, he talked about the young guys and how to get the young guys into games, talking about Tyler O'Neill, how to prepare when you're not used to playing every day, talking about a guy like Harrison Bader when you're not playing every day. And he said it's a difficult thing to do. And he mentioned Greg Garcia. He said Greg Garcia does it better than anybody he's seen. Just always being ready wherever he asks him to play, whatever position, whatever time he gets an at bat, the guy just knows how to prepare himself like a true pro.
Three balls, 1 strike on Garcia. Vasquez struggling with the strike zone. 3 walks in the inning. 2 of the 3 have come around to score. The 3-1 pitch. Inside, almost hit him. Four walks in the inning. And Matt Carpenter coming up. That'll be it for Vasquez. What a turn of events here in this 8th inning for the Cardinals. With Feliz and Vasquez rested and ready, the Cardinals have taken a 6-4 lead. Watch here as he comes in, tosses the glove, and then the arm kind of hanging there and stretching out the shoulder. Looks to be in some pain.
You can see him grimacing coming off and then trying to just dig through that all that forearm matter. They're throwing 99 mile an hour in the game, but oftentimes it's not just the velocity that can be indicative of something going wrong. It's location, and he didn't have any of that today.
So here is Carpenter to face Steven Brault. There's Chevy called to the pen. Brault. I believe Jordan Hicks is throwing in the Cardinals pen, which would make back-to-back appearances for him. And then you'd have Bud Norris in a back-to-back as well. Norris now 10 of 10 in save opportunities. So 2 outs and the 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. He has been one of the best in his career in this spot. 22 for 41. You can't get much better than this.
Are those real numbers, or is that video game stuff? And that's amazing.
And his 1 home run was a walk-off of a doubleheader against the Blue Jays last year, game 1. Randall Grichuk had tied the game late, and then the Cardinals walked it off with a grand slam. Here's a 1-1 pitch. 2 strikes on Carpenter.
Carpenter been swinging and missing a lot of breaking balls from lefties. Be able to stay on one and maybe just drive something the other way. Just stay on this breaking ball. I'm assuming he's throwing a breaking ball here. You pad this lead.
Here's a 1-2. It was the breaking ball and a strikeout of Carpenter. Cardinals strand the bases loaded, but they pick up a lead. Harrison Bader, shallow fly into right. That would score a run. And a bases loaded walk by Munoz. To the pen, and it'll be Jordan Hicks. Had never pitched above A ball prior to this year, and now what an impression he has made. Greg Garcia remains at second base, batting 9th. Hicks is in the 6th spot in the lineup. So back-to-back days, something I'm sure the Cardinals will be very careful about throughout the season with Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, I feel like there's a communication factor as well. You got to find out day to day how a guy's feeling. Before the game, I asked Mike if he'd be available, and he said, hey, he hasn't played catch yet. We'll find out. Obviously, everything went well, but you have to be honest and tell a guy when you're not feeling great. Nice breaking ball right there for all the 100-mile-an-hour talk. 81 miles an hour, pulls the string right here, outer half. It's a great pitch. Think about that as a hitter. You're geared up for 101, then you get that. Good luck.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. I think a guy like Hicks, though, maybe you have to take that decision away from him and just say, look.
Well, he'll lie to you, chances are.
No question. He's going to say, yeah, I feel great. Just take it out of his hands.
Well, he threw 19 pitches yesterday in his inning and 2/3, got 5 ground balls. So he didn't have to labor too much through it, and that's where you're going to be smart. You're going to look at how many pitches a guy throws in an inning. You're going to look at high leverage stuff. That's an arm you want to go to.
Look at that. Nasty stuff, and Rodriguez strikes out to start the bottom of the 8th.
This thing right here has a ton of break on it, a lot of side to side. Look at just the last couple of feet right there, how it just jumps. Looking like it's going to go right down the middle, ends up being about a foot off the plate. Man, that's going to be an effective pitch for him. We talked about this day one. If you're 21 years old and you can throw 105 mile an hour, it's hard to not want to try to throw 106, 107, 108. But you have to realize that you got to grow as a pitcher, and you have to have something else out there so hitters can't just sit on that. Well, he's got something else.
Work total the last 7 days. And the 0-1 pitch to Meadows. Meadows on base a couple of times. Infield hit. So a little bloop to shallow left. A run scored. Picked up an RBI in inning number 5. As well as the bullpen of the Pirates has pitched this year. You were thinking going into that 8th inning, this is a really tall order for the Cardinals offense, but it was a single by Jose Martinez. It started the rally just out of the reach of Sean Rodriguez. And then, you know, we talk about it all the time. You walk somebody at this level, teams make you pay. Cardinals got back-to-back walks, and both those walks came around to score.
Yeah, you mentioned the numbers multiple times during the game, but the Pirates, when leading after 6, are 22-0. 22-0 this team has been, and the Cardinals able to battle back.
There's Starling Marte. I would think with Jordan Hicks, maybe more than anybody up, and a right-handed batter at the plate, if I'm in the dugout of the Cardinals, I'm ducking, because there aren't many guys that catch up with this fastball.
You are right. I believe Marte was the one at bat when Mike Schilt got hit earlier, and with all due respect to Miles Michaelis, who throws the ball hard, not as hard as this guy throws it.
And the catchers are finding that out too with those foul balls. Yadier Molina, Francisco Pena, one off the knee. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This young man is becoming the talk of baseball in many ways.
Getting more and more confidence too every time he gets out there.
Yes, he is. Little tapper, that is a foul ball.
It's a good pitch with that too, under the zone. Because if you leave a breaking ball up to Marte, well, something like that can happen. All right, you don't have to throw it too hard. You don't have to try too hard with it, but you got to make sure it's in the right spot. And that was a game winner for him on a breaking ball that was up. Got to get it down.
Here's a 1-2 pitch.
Just got under that one right there.
2-2. In the air to shallow right. Garcia racing over, but that'll be handled easily by O'Neill. 1-2-3 go the Pirates. Good work by Hicks this weekend. 6-4 as we head to the 9th. All right, Hungo and Jimmy, thank you. Looking forward to the post-game show. It's Jose Martinez. And the first pitch is taken for a ball. Steven Brault got the final out in the top of the 8th. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Brault's another one of those guys where you're not exactly sure what the future is going to look like for him. He's going to be a bullpen piece. Is he going to be a starter, which they've tried him at as well. Very talented from the left side.
He's actually made a couple of starts against the Cardinals. Right now, if you're a Pirate fan, you've got to be a little concerned with what you're seeing in the back end of the bullpen with Felipe Vasquez. Now 3 outings in a row where he's been ineffective. You had your 8th inning guy that you picked up from San Francisco, Contos, no longer with the club. And then you thrust Feliz into that role, and he struggled today.
Well, I think the thing that might concern you more than anything is how Vasquez came off the mound. You saw him with the arm just hanging there, kind of digging into the forearm. So the hope is, I mean, even after 3 games in a row now of him struggling a little bit, you believe that when he's healthy, he's still one of the better arms in baseball, and you feel great about him closing out the game. But if he's not healthy, that's a game changer.
Into the glove of Bell, a soft liner. Here's Tommy Pham. And 1 out and nobody on. Pham has scored a run. He has walked. He has singled. Big gap in left center and the 1-0 pitch. Well, you like Tommy Pham in these spots against left-handed pitching.
Yes, you do. And you've liked how the top of the order has responded here the last couple of days. You've got Carpenter with a couple of knocks. We saw Martinez last inning get the stuff going. Pham has been swinging it better and better. These are the guys that you came into the season just expecting to get it done. And Pham, for the most part, Martinez has as well. Carpenter starting to go. Ozuna, average-wise, is getting up there while the power is still there. A lot of bright spots currently, and a lot of projection in a positive way for the future for these guys.
2-2 the count on Tommy Pham. Bud Norris throwing in the Cardinals' pen. And Pham hit by the pitch. So he limps down to first base.
Steven Brault trying to get in there, a little crossfire on that slider.
So 1 out, runner at first in Pham. Here's Marcell Ozuna. Ball 1. Will it be a save situation for Bud Norris? Because of that, Tyler Lyons starts to throw. Non-save situation, he'd come in. Be interesting tomorrow if Norris comes in this game, how you play the bullpen in game 1 against Milwaukee. Hicks, I would think, would be completely off limits.
Absolutely. Yeah, you hope you score a ton, probably.
And Ozuna is tied up. Slowly hit to second, flips his bat. Brings in Tyler O'Neill.
At a 2-0 fastball count right there and just got tied up. You can tell Ozuna's just not quite there yet. He's not quite right, because when he is right, that ball is hammered somewhere.
So 2 outs, runner at second. That's Pham. O'Neill came up with the bases loaded back in the 8th and struck out. He has struck out 3 times today. Also fly to deep center.
Projecting ahead to tomorrow, a guy that you might end up seeing who threw the ball really well today is Sam Tuivailala. Might see him late in the game tomorrow.
That's hit out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. And 2 strikes on O'Neill. The 1-2 pitch to Tyler O'Neill. Taken high, 2-2. Pirates will have middle of their lineup coming up. O'Neill trying to make it at least a 3-run, maybe a 4-run lead with 1 swing of the bat. And instead he strikes out for the 4th time. Sends us to the bottom of the 9th. Bell, Moran, Polanco coming up. Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals, presented by T-Mobile. So another save opportunity. 10 for 10 is Bud Norris. And he'll try to pick up saves in back-to-back days. Our Chevy called to the pen, and he has been outstanding. Look at that, 34 strikeouts to only 4 walks in over 24 innings of work.
Just pumping strikes, and once again, I mean, it seems like a boring narrative, but it's so important. Just getting that first strike and commanding counts. Pretty good list to be on there as well.
10 for 10, whip that's under 1. A lot of people forget that Salas in 2011, Fernando Salas led the club in saves. The final out in Game 7 recorded by Jason Mott. And there's ball 1 to Bell. Always wondered about late innings and the mound and what it looks like when you have lefties and righties coming into a game. The holes that they dig into.
I'll tell you this, they look a lot better in the big leagues than they do in the minor leagues. They do a good job. It is the one that I always found to be the most difficult is if you stride into somebody else's hole. So if you like catch a heel at a hole at the bottom, but usually, I mean, there's so much clay on these big league mounds, you don't have to deal with it quite as much. But it's comfort, right? You got to make sure that you get your footing in there.
1 ball, 1 strike on Bell. 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts today. Inside, 2-1. Cardinals trying to make it 2 out of 3 here in Pittsburgh before heading to Milwaukee. The 2-1 pitch. And Bell puts it in play to third for the first out. 1 away. Always important getting that first out. Take you back to the 8th inning and our Budweiser plays of the game. Bader, this flare that would tie the game up to score Martinez. Then a bases loaded walk put the Cardinals on top. Bases loaded, Carson Kelly put the ball in play. And no double play turn. Ozuna would score, and that put the Cardinals on top 6-4. Our Budweiser plays of the game. The batter is Colin Moran. Pittsburgh thinking of any which way to get 1 runner on and have a chance to tie it up.
Well, these are the same couple of guys that Bud Norris faced last night in the 9th inning. He got Moran to fly out to center, got Polanco on a fastball away, punched him out. And a rare breaking ball right there to the lefty. Bud likes to go with his fastball.
The 0-1. A ball and a strike. One pitch. Fly ball. Ozuna battling the sun, and he's got it. I was hoping he would get that. He looked like he was really struggling to find that baseball.
Yeah, he got around the side of it. Sometimes you have to do that. It looks awkward trying to the angle that he took on it, but he's trying to figure out an angle where he cannot be staring directly into the sun, gets around it, makes the play. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Matters about you catching it, get yourself in the best position to do so.
So with 2 outs, the final 0 for the Pirates here is Gregory Polanco. 0 for his last 18, hitless in the series. And strike 1.
Little cutter in there for strike 1. We've seen Bud go away with his fastball after that, but that would set it up really well.
Good work by Tuivailala, Jordan Hicks, and now Bud Norris. The 0-1 pitch to Polanco. And the Pirates down to their final strike. Clint Hurdle and the Pirates seem to be in control of this game going into the 8th, and Mike Matheny's club came back. And now the Cardinals a strike away from taking 2 of 3. The 0-2 pitch to Polanco from Bud Norris. A little bit low.
Struck him out swinging on a very similar pitch last night. I think it was 96 down and away, just caught him waving. Got to know Polanco remembers that too. Maybe he tries to bust him in.
And the 1-2 pitch to Gregory Polanco. Ground ball, right side. This will do it. The Cardinals come back in game 3 and they take 2 of 3 in the weekend series against the Pirates. 6-4 the final, and Norris 11 for 11 in save opportunities. What a win.
Yeah, it was awesome. Cardinals and Pirates came into this one tied for second place, and they battle back and get this one. Great performance by Miles Michaelis. The bullpen was awesome, and some clutch hitting today by the Birds.
Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. The postgame show is coming up. The Cardinals 6, the Pirates 4. Jim Hayes. Al Roboski standing by.